That's started. This is Patchwork is awake. The video is not awake. The video is awake. Good morning, everybody. My name is Osa. It is last Saturday in June. We are playing Farming Simulator 22 on Glenleathann. We have August 4. Need to speed up time now. I finish inspecting stuff. We have some work to do. So, gonna get a couple of tractors set up on Courseplay or something. Looks like we've got a fairly good day today when it comes to all the weather and stuff. Okay, let's stick that there and page over here. What is that and why is it facing that way? Who knows? Anyway, work. That one. Create job. There we go. Target position is set for that bunker. Actually, I might... Oh, target position is where the tractor lives. Oops. And silo position, we'll set it back there. Forwards and silo activated. Go. And it's not complaining, so we should be doing a thing. It does back out a long way, but that's fine. So we are at 45% compacted on this. This one's all done. I need the Massey Ferguson, I think, is probably the best thing to use here. We could probably use some diesel in that too. We'll try not to crash into any wall. Oh, good grief. Okay, that's fueling. Good. I thought maybe the big M was going to be in the way. Actually, you know what? While we're here... get that back out of the way. I will move the big M away from the diesel tank. Just means everybody else can get to it at that point. Okay. There we go. Good morning, M Patchwork. So, okay, so a little bit late starting today. Because just before I was about to start, I was reminded that there was a major storm last night, and it might be a good plan to go and check on the basement, because there has been some evidence of flooding down there. So I went down, I had a look, and sure enough, there's been evidence of flooding down there. But surprisingly, not where I expected it. So typically in the past, when we've gone down there, we've found pools of water around the big metal beams that support the house. So we figured, well, maybe the water is leaking up through the where the holes are drilled for that. Turns out that's probably not the case. It looks like we have a bunch of field roller. That's good. We have a bunch of leaks along the front wall. Unfortunately, they're under the storage shelves, which not too big of a problem because the storage shelves are all metal on plastic legs. We just have to take all of the stuff off the shelves in order to reveal the problem when the inspector comes in a couple of weeks. I think he's about 2 weeks out now. So that was one issue, but it does mean that I probably won't have to dismantle all of the benches that the model railway is going to get set up on, because the leaks are actually coming in from the join between a wall and the floor, as opposed to headlands. Let's just do 3. Send first, yeah, okay. We're starting at the other end. Let's jot it down there. I don't think I rolled this. We'll find out. Doesn't really matter if I did. Yeah, we had thunderstorms all night. I think they cleared up now. But yeah, so as I said, the last couple of major storms we've had, we found water in the basement. So if it's along the front wall, it's a pain in the butt to have to move all of the storage shelves out of the way. But at least that's all we have to move. But I am holding off on doing any model train stuff until after the inspector's been, because if he does need to get underneath it, then I don't really want to have to mess around after putting stuff on there. Yeah, we definitely did roll this. So Massey Ferguson rolling the stuff. Holland, that's still working. That's sitting there. It's the big M. This is the big other thing. We have to take this for a run. So anyway, that's all in progress. Last week on, I think it was Thursday, I placed some order for some rail switches, because now that I've got a basic plan, my original thought was I would just put 2 loops, work on one side of the layout, and then sort of dismantle half of the loops in order to put something a little bit more interesting, shall we say. Well, I've actually settled on a rough design for the station. It's going to be based on, oh, I keep doing that. It's going to be based on Welsh pool in the 1930s. Not an exact replica, just an approximate layout. One of the things I've learnt playing railway games on the computer is probably that the business that built the railway knew what they were doing. A lot of model railway builders think, I've got this one input line and it has to be able to reach every platform in a station, and every platform in the station must be able to reach all the input and output lines. And that's actually not strictly true. Railway companies would design standard, what's the word for it? Standard courses that, you know, when a train arrives, it goes to this point and maybe this other point. but you don't have to allow permutations for everything. Now, eliminating permutations for everything actually removes the number of switches you need on the approach, and effectively makes the approach shorter than it would be if you're trying to, cross from line 1 to line 2 so you can get to platform 3, and line 2 to line 1 so trains in platform 1 can get on to line 2. Just follow basic structure. So it playing railroad drives, you're limited in what you can do. In some situations you sort of, I'm not allowed to make that maneuver without backing onto a line and then going around the houses to work my way over to it. And it's like, but you don't have to do that because train operations don't actually have to follow that path. So consequently, for my model railway, I've decided I'm going to base the track work on real locations. And then if a move is not easily permitted, it's not one that the railway company would have considered as important. Plus, switches are expensive. I mean, I'm paying about $30 for a switch. Frankly, I would prefer... Oh, there it is. Frankly, I would prefer to save my money where I can. So that's what's going on. Oops. So we turn that on. Yes. So anyway, that's where I am at the moment. But unfortunately, last week, the two company retail outlets that do reliable international shipping, one of them had half the things I needed and the other one had the other half of the things I needed. So I had to place 2 orders last Friday. I got an email from one saying you will receive an email from the mail service to tell you what your tracking number is. Never got that. And the other one sent me an email to say, yes, we've shipped the stuff and here's the tracking number. Click on the link for the tracking number and you can see where it is. So I've been watching the one I could watch, and that is out for delivery this morning. The one that I couldn't track is already here. It arrived yesterday afternoon. So, but as I said, there's no actual building right now I can do because I need to wait until the inspector's been. Although I did spend some of this week, I've chopped one of the 4x4 boards into 5-foot wide planks, 4 foot long, which gave me a little bit of an idea of how big or where the layout's going to happen. And one of the things I figured was I was basing the station on facing in one direction. I think I'm going to face it the other direction, which has the advantage of putting the passenger car sidings and the engine shed on the outside of the loop rather than the inside of the loop, which actually gives me more room. And from there, oops, because the engine shed is going to be on the outside, I can actually run a service track off of the board at the engine shed onto my desk, or what will be my work desk. And I won't have to pick things up and carrying them to the workbench if they need any work done, which is a good thing. At least I think it is. I don't think we're going to do any cutting into that corner at all. Okay. So yes, progress is being made. Oh, come on, stop. Dang. Ugh. This is not easy. I could put this on cruise control, of course. Oh, we're about full. There we go. So I think when I get to the end here, oh, this is so tight. Then I'm going to jump out and make a gap. Now I'm doing that because we're going to be removing that hedge anyway once we're done. So I can just take that out and off we go, back to the yard. So, who's working? The Magnum 400 is running with compacting the silo. The Fent Katana, oh that's the thing behind us. And the Massey Ferguson is rolling and should finish in about 2 minutes. So I've actually got to roll the grass field. It's a good job I was checking things last night. I really didn't think about rolling the fields until I saw, oh, needs rolled. Okay, we'll do that. Anyway, what else is going on? So that's going on. The kids are all sleeping. So that too is all going on. And yeah, Mrs. Osa's sleeping. I'm not sure how good a sleep anyone got last night. I think I was woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning by a storm, 4 o'clock in the morning by a storm, and then I was still awake at 5, so I figured, well, to heck with this, I'll just get up now. Okay, how easy is it going to be to dump stuff where the Massey Ferguson, not the Massey Ferguson, the cases. Now obviously he is going to push some of this maize out of the bunker. Looks like he already has. We're not too fussed about that because we'll get the Merlot in to shovel it up when it's all compacted. For right now, oh, which way do I need to turn the wheel? That way. Which button do I press? That one and that one. Ooh. I'm remembering. I'm slowly getting to grips with the new controller on which buttons to push. So, of course, the other thing to talk about this week is Farming Simulator 25 has officially been announced. The cinematic trailer has been released. It looks like we are going to get a Far Eastern map, or an East Asia map, with 2 flavors of rice, or 2 species of rice, or whatever. And then, well, I don't think I was woken up by the storm. I was woken up for biological reasons, but the storm was happening. Because I'm old, and old people have those issues sometimes. But yeah, so okay, so FarmSim 25 is coming out. It's coming out with an American map and a European map, sort of Middle Europe. So potentially we could be looking at a Zelonka again, the premium expansion map. And the reason I say that is because in the past, FarmSim 19, we got 2 new maps, an American map and I can't remember, European map of some description, and we got Erlengrad, I think that's right. And then for 22, or no, 17, we got Estancia La Patio. That was actually released as a patch, or as a mod map by Giants. And so for 22 we got Erlengrad, which had been a DLC map the previous time. I believe 17, Sosnovka was actually an expansion map on 15. So Giants tends to do a DLC map as one of the maps on a new version of the game. Whether they release it in the mod hub or as part of the base game varies, but I think we're probably going to see Zelonka because it's more of a functional map than I kind of look at Silver Run Forest being more of a novelty map. It's, you know, you've got what is it? You've got the build a boat, build a roller coaster, chop down a lot of trees, not a lot in the way of farming. And in essence, this is still Farming Simulator. So our initial maps are usually agricultural maps with some level of forestry available on the map somewhere. Now they might do a forestry map later like they did with Silver Run Forest. But anyway, so I'm thinking, and I don't know for definite, that the European map that we're going to get is probably going to be Zelonka. But we will get a new American map. I think it was Farmer Cop did a video on images that have appeared on the American map, and it looks like the train yard is run down. So, and the announcement does include verbiage that would suggest there is going to be an element of building simulator involved. So potentially, if you want to use the train yard, you have to produce wood or something to fix up the train yard so you can make use of it. And the reason he looked at it and said, you know, those buildings are really run down, so we might have sell points on the map that we can't use immediately, but we can work to restoring and getting running. I guess we'll see about that. If I turn really sharp, I might be able to fit in that gap there. But we'll see what we get to see, I guess. It does suggest there will be new animals. Now, whether they're new animals like storks were on Zelonka on the premium edition, or whether they are new breedable animals that we can grow and earn money selling, or shearing sheep, shearing llamas, whatever. It's hard to tell. With the cinematic video, it looked like the water bison featured in the cinematic video were free roaming, not necessarily in a pasture. So that could mean that animals are more free roaming in general, so you can build a pasture, attach a cow building to it, and have cows wandering around the pasture. Or it means that the water bison or water buffalo are not farm animals, but are in actual fact like the deer and the birds. They just spawn in corners of your fields and run around when you get close. Water buffalo are probably not going to run around when you get close. They're going to look at you menacingly. So I don't know, but water buffalo could go one of two ways. But it did suggest there are more animals. But as I said, suitably vague as to what function of animal it is, whether it's a farming animal or a just an appearance animal. I think I'm going to stop this over here for a minute, and we will run here. I really probably shouldn't do this because but that didn't take long, so that's good. So what else do we know? As I said, there's going to be 2 flavours of rice, and spinach is going to be a thing. So that's obviously going to include new pieces of equipment and what have you. And that is, if they're counting 2 flavours of rice, that's effectively, I'm guessing that's like saying there's two or we've got, depending on how you count it, 3 or 4 varieties of cereal crop, because we've got wheat, barley, oats, and corn and sorghum. So there's a potential there that obviously 2 varieties of rice is counted as 2 different crops. Now, they did say that will give us, I can't remember whether they said more than 21 crops or more than 20 crops. But if you take what we already have, we currently have about 18 in-game. If you include, grass, oilseed radish, poplars, I didn't count the trees.